Is masturbating every day after the age of 50 good or bad for your prostate? It's a direct question, and it deserves a direct, science-based answer. This is a topic that millions of men think about, but very few talk about openly. For generations, it's been shrouded in myth, misinformation, and a quiet sense of shame. Many men feel that once they pass a certain age, this is something they shouldn't even be thinking about, let alone doing. They might worry about what it means for their health, their vitality, or their relationships. Is it a sign of a problem, or is it a healthy, natural practice? Today, we're going to set aside the myths and treat this for what it is, a legitimate health question. The health of your prostate is incredibly important, especially as you get older, and understanding how your lifestyle and habits affect it is one of the most empowering things you can do for your long-term well-being. So, let's get into it. In this video, we're going to explore what the latest scientific research really says about the connection between how often you ejaculate and the health of your prostate. We'll start by understanding what the prostate is and how it changes with age. Then, we'll dive deep into the proven benefits of regular sexual activity. We'll also look at the potential risks, not of the act itself, but of excess and compulsion. And finally, I'll give you a clear, balanced verdict based on the evidence, so you can make informed decisions about your own health. By the end, you'll have the answers you've been looking for. Before we can talk about how masturbation affects the prostate, it's crucial to understand what this small but mighty gland actually does and why it becomes such a focal point for men's health after 50. Think of the prostate as a small, walnut-sized gland that's part of the male reproductive system. Its main job is to produce the milky white fluid, known as prostatic fluid, that mixes with sperm from the testicles to create semen. This fluid is vital. It contains enzymes and hormones that nourish the sperm, increase its mobility, and protect it on its journey, essentially giving it the fuel and protection it needs for fertilization. Now, its location is key to understanding the problems that can arise later in life. The prostate sits just below the bladder and wraps around the urethra, the tube that carries urine from the bladder out of the body. Imagine a donut with the urethra passing through the hole. This anatomical setup works perfectly for decades, but as men age, things start to change. Starting around the age of 40 and accelerating after 50, the prostate gland begins to grow. This condition is known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. The word benign is important here. It means this growth is not cancerous. However, because the prostate surrounds the urethra, its enlargement can start to squeeze that tube, like pinching a garden hose. This squeezing is what causes the all-too-common urinary symptoms that many men over 50 begin to experience. You might notice you have to wait a moment for the urine stream to start. The stream itself might be weaker than it used to be. You might feel like you haven't fully emptied your bladder, even after you've just gone. And perhaps most frustratingly, you may find yourself waking up multiple times a night with the urgent need to urinate, disrupting your sleep. These symptoms are incredibly common. Statistics show that by the time men reach their 60s, more than half will have some degree of BPH. By age 80, that number climbs to around 90%. So, if you're experiencing this, you are far from alone. This natural aging process of the prostate is exactly why the question of sexual health becomes so relevant. If this gland is so central to our health as we age, where does sexual activity, and specifically masturbation, fit into this picture? Does it help or does it hurt? Let's look at the evidence. Now we arrive at the heart of the matter. What are the actual, scientifically observed benefits of regular masturbation and ejaculation for men over 50? The evidence is compelling and points to several positive effects, not just for the prostate, but for your overall health as well. Let's break them down. 1. The prostate cleansing hypothesis. One of the most significant benefits is what researchers call the prostate stagnation hypothesis, or more simply, the idea of a prostate cleansing. Think of the prostate as a factory that is constantly producing fluid. If that fluid isn't regularly cleared out, it can stagnate. This stagnant fluid can lead to the buildup of old cells, metabolic byproducts, and even potential carcinogens. Regular ejaculation essentially acts as an internal flushing mechanism. It clears out the old fluid and stimulates the production of new, healthy fluid, creating a healthier environment inside the gland. This isn't just a theory, it's backed by major research. The most famous of these is a large-scale study from Harvard University that followed nearly 32,000 men for almost 2 decades. The findings were groundbreaking. The study revealed that men who reported ejaculating 21 or more times per month had up to a 31% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to men who ejaculated only 4 to 7 times per month. This powerful association suggests that frequent flushing of the prostate ducts is a significant protective factor. So, rather than being harmful, regular ejaculation appears to be a form of preventative maintenance. 2. Improved blood flow and pelvic health. Sexual arousal and orgasm are powerful vascular events. During this process, blood flow to the entire pelvic region dramatically increases. This surge of blood isn't just for achieving an erection, it nourishes all the surrounding tissues, including the prostate gland itself. For older men, maintaining good circulation is critical for overall health, and this is especially true for the prostate. This increased blood flow delivers a fresh supply of oxygen and essential nutrients to the prostate cells, helping them function optimally and repair themselves. It also helps to carry away waste products more efficiently. A healthy blood supply is crucial for keeping tissues elastic and responsive. Think of it like exercising a muscle. Regular use keeps it in good working order. This improved circulation can contribute to better overall pelvic health, which is closely linked to both urinary and sexual function. 3. Natural stress reduction and mood enhancement. The connection between our minds and our bodies is undeniable, and stress is a major factor in men's health as they age. Chronic stress floods the body with hormones like cortisol, which can lead to inflammation, high blood pressure, and a weakened immune system. It can also worsen the urinary symptoms associated with an enlarged prostate by tensing the muscles in the pelvic floor. This is where the hormonal benefits of orgasm come in. During orgasm, the brain releases a cocktail of powerful, feel-good neurochemicals, most notably endorphins and oxytocin. Endorphins are the body's natural painkillers and mood elevators, creating a sense of calm and well-being. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, promotes feelings of relaxation and contentment. This natural, chemical-free way to reduce stress and anxiety is a significant benefit. For a man navigating the pressures of life after 50, having a built-in mechanism to lower cortisol and boost mood is an invaluable tool for both mental and physical health. 4. Maintenance of libido and sexual function. There's a well-known principle in biology: use it or lose it. This applies directly to sexual function. The ability to achieve an erection and feel desire is a complex process involving the brain, nerves, hormones, and blood vessels. Regular sexual activity, including masturbation, helps keep all of these systems firing correctly. By regularly engaging in sexual stimulation, you are reinforcing the neural pathways between your brain and your genitals. This helps to keep your brain responsive to sexual cues and maintains the delicate neurological reflexes needed for arousal and erection. As testosterone levels naturally begin to decline with age, maintaining this mind-body connection becomes even more important for preserving a healthy libido. Regular practice helps ensure that the machinery of sexual function stays well-oiled and ready to perform when you want it to. Speaking of staying ready to perform, what if there was a way to go beyond just maintenance? What if you could naturally restore the kind of powerful, on-demand erections and youthful stamina you had in your prime without risky pills or injections? Recently, a fascinating discovery has been getting a lot of attention. It's a bizarrely simple, 100% natural home remedy that takes just 7 seconds a day and is designed to reverse the real root cause of male performance issues. It's all explained in a short, eye-opening video that I've linked for you. If you're interested, you can watch it right now by opening the camera on your phone and pointing it at the QR code you see on your screen. Or you can find the direct link pinned at the very top of the comments section below this video. 5. Better sleep quality. For many men over 60, getting a full night of uninterrupted sleep can be a real challenge, often due to the frequent urge to urinate from BPH. Masturbation can be a surprisingly effective, natural sleep aid. Following an orgasm, The body releases a hormone called prolactin, which is strongly associated with feelings of sleepiness and satiety. This is why many men feel deeply relaxed and drowsy after sex or masturbation. This release of prolactin, combined with the stress-reducing effects of endorphins and oxytocin, creates the perfect biochemical state for falling asleep more easily and potentially sleeping more deeply. Instead of turning to sleep medications, which can have side effects, this natural process can help regulate sleep cycles and provide much-needed rest, which is fundamental for the body's repair processes and overall health. Now, it's crucial to look at the other side of the coin. While regular, moderate masturbation has clear benefits, the conversation changes when the habit becomes excessive or compulsive. It's not the act itself that's the problem, but the pattern and frequency. Here are the potential risks to be aware of. 1. The risk of pornography dependency and cerebral hyperstimulation. This is arguably the most significant risk in the modern age, and it's a psychological one before it's a physical one. For many men, masturbation is closely linked with the use of pornography. While occasional use isn't necessarily harmful, a compulsive, daily habit can fundamentally alter the brain's reward system. This phenomenon is known as cerebral hyperstimulation. Online pornography provides an endless stream of novel, high-intensity stimuli that can trigger massive releases of dopamine, the brain's primary pleasure and motivation chemical. Over time, the brain can become desensitized. It starts to require more and more extreme content to achieve the same level of arousal. This is a classic hallmark of addiction. The real-world consequence is that real-life intimacy with a partner may begin to feel less stimulating or even boring in comparison. This can lead to a loss of interest in partnered sex and can be a direct cause of what's known as pornography-induced erectile dysfunction, where a man can get an erection to pornography but struggles in a real-life sexual situation. This pattern can create significant distress and cause serious problems in relationships. It shifts a healthy, natural act into a compulsive cycle that disconnects a man from genuine intimacy. 2. Physical irritation and inflammation of the prostate. While moderate ejaculation helps cleanse the prostate, excessive, back-to-back stimulation without adequate time for recovery can have the opposite effect. The prostate is a gland, and like any part of the body, it can become overworked. Constant, forceful stimulation can lead to physical irritation and inflammation. This can result in a condition known as congestive prostatitis, which is a non-bacterial inflammation of the prostate gland. The symptoms can be very uncomfortable and often mimic those of BPH or a urinary tract infection. Men might experience a dull ache or feeling of heaviness in the pelvic area, pain during or after ejaculation, and an increased urgency or frequency of urination. In this case, instead of relieving urinary issues, the excessive habit actually creates them. The body is sending a clear signal that it needs a break. 3. Physical fatigue and energy drain. Ejaculation is a physically demanding process that consumes a significant amount of biological resources and energy. For a younger man, the body can recover from this expenditure relatively quickly. However, for men over 50 and 60, the body's capacity for recovery is naturally lower. When a man masturbates multiple times a day, every day, the cumulative energy drain can become substantial. This isn't just a fleeting feeling of tiredness. It can manifest as a persistent, chronic fatigue that impacts all other areas of life. Many men report a noticeable drop in their overall energy levels, a lack of motivation for exercise or other activities, and even a brain fog or difficulty concentrating. Their bodies are spending too much of their daily energy budget on sexual activity, leaving little left for everything else. This physical depletion is a clear sign that the frequency has crossed the line from healthy to excessive. One of the biggest barriers to having an honest conversation about masturbation is the sheer amount of misinformation that has been passed down through generations. To get a truly clear picture, we need to actively debunk these myths with scientific facts. Let's tackle some of the most common ones. Myth: masturbation causes prostate cancer. Fact: this is perhaps the most persistent and damaging myth, and the science points in the exact opposite direction. As we discussed earlier with the landmark Harvard study and other subsequent research, there is a strong correlation between a higher frequency of ejaculation and a lower risk of developing prostate cancer. The prostate cleansing hypothesis suggests that by regularly flushing out the gland, you are removing substances that could potentially contribute to the development of cancer over time. So, far from causing it, a healthy ejaculatory frequency appears to be protective. Myth: masturbation permanently lowers your testosterone. Fact: this is a misunderstanding of how hormones work. While there are some minor, temporary fluctuations in hormone levels around the time of ejaculation, there is no scientific evidence to suggest that masturbation leads to a long-term or permanent decrease in a man's overall testosterone levels. The body's endocrine system is designed to regulate hormone production through a complex feedback loop. Healthy sexual activity is a normal part of the system, not a drain on it. The age-related decline in testosterone is a natural process that happens regardless of a man's masturbation habits. Myth: masturbation will make your penis smaller. Fact: this myth has absolutely no basis in anatomy or medical science. The size of the penis is determined by genetics and anatomical structure. No amount of masturbation, or lack thereof, can change its physical size. This is a complete fabrication, often rooted in old, baseless fears designed to discourage the practice. Myth: it's an unnatural substitute for real sex. Fact: from a biological and psychological standpoint, masturbation is a completely normal and healthy part of human sexuality. It's a way for individuals, whether they are single or in a partnership, to understand their own bodies, explore their sexuality, and experience pleasure and stress relief. Viewing it as inferior or unnatural is a social judgment, not a medical or scientific one. For many older men, especially those who may have lost a partner or whose partner has a lower libido, masturbation is a vital way to maintain their sexual health and well-being. So, after looking at the science, exploring the benefits, and understanding the risks, what is the final verdict? Is daily masturbation after 50 good or bad for the prostate? The science points to a clear and reassuring conclusion. Regular, moderate masturbation is not only safe, but is actually beneficial for prostate health and overall well-being. The key words here are regular and moderate. The idea that you must ejaculate exactly once a day, or that doing so is the ultimate key to health, is a rigid oversimplification. There is no magic number that applies to every man. The ideal frequency is deeply personal and depends on your individual health, energy levels, and lifestyle. The real issue isn't about hitting a specific daily target. It's about balance, self-awareness, and intentionality. To find your own healthy balance, it's helpful to ask yourself a few honest questions. Think of this as a quick checklist for a healthy practice. First, how does it make you feel? Does it leave you feeling relaxed, de-stressed, and more content? Or do you feel a sense of compulsion, anxiety, or emptiness afterward? A healthy habit should add to your well-being, not create a cycle of craving and shame. Second, how is it affecting your energy? Are you able to masturbate without it impacting your motivation for work, exercise, or hobbies? Or do you find yourself feeling chronically fatigued and drained, with little energy left for the rest of your life? Your body's energy levels are a very clear indicator of whether your frequency is sustainable. Third, what is the source of your arousal? Is your sexual desire coming from a natural place, or is it heavily dependent on hours of consuming extreme online pornography? If you find you can't get aroused without specific types of digital content, it's a strong sign that the habit has become psychologically unhealthy. And fourth, how is it impacting your relationship? If you have a partner, is your masturbation habit a healthy supplement to your intimate life, or is it replacing intimacy and connection? A healthy sexual life, whether solo or partnered, should foster connection, not create distance. Ultimately, the best guide is your own body. If your current routine leaves you feeling good physically and mentally, then it's likely a healthy frequency for you. If, however, you're experiencing any of the negative signs we've discussed, pain, chronic fatigue, psychological dependency, or relationship issues, then it's a clear signal to reassess and perhaps reduce the frequency. Remember, masturbation is just one piece of the much larger puzzle of prostate health. A truly holistic approach must include a balanced diet rich in antioxidants, regular physical activity to improve circulation, getting enough quality sleep, and, most importantly, staying consistent with your regular medical checkups with a healthcare provider. So, let's bring it all together. Masturbation is not the enemy of your prostate. On the contrary, the scientific evidence strongly suggests that when practiced in a balanced and healthy way, it's an ally for your long-term health. It helps keep the prostate flushed, reduces stress, improves sleep, and maintains sexual function. The real danger isn't the act itself, but the potential for compulsive behavior, particularly when driven by an over-reliance on pornography, which can lead to both psychological and physical problems. The answer isn't to fear a natural and healthy part of your sexuality, but to approach it with awareness and moderation. By understanding your body and listening to its signals, you can harness the benefits of a healthy sexual life to support your prostate and enhance your overall quality of life for decades to come. Taking control of your health starts with having the right information, and now, on this topic, you do. If you found this information helpful and clarifying, consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into the science of men's health. Thank you for watching.